So Pfizer and BioNTech announced last week that they are testing a third vaccine shot as a booster. And what they're doing is they're trying to see if it could increase protection against the new coronavirus variants. The companies are also talking with the FDA and other regulatory authorities about potentially conducting yet another clinical study to evaluate a version of their vaccine, BNT162b2, to specifically target that variant that was first identified in South Africa. It's called B.1.351. Brian, what do you think the chances are that Americans are going to end up needing to have a third vaccine shot?
I think it's probably pretty likely with the variants running around. In terms of these two strategies, I think they're an interesting, they're interesting. So if you just take the third coronavirus vaccine and just add more vaccine, that will boost the total number of antibodies that we have running around in our body and the memory of the immune system's memory, so that it'll ramp up quicker the next time, if you actually got infected. And I think that's probably useful if the variants, if the vaccines aren't as effective on the variants, because the variants are able to replicate faster in the body or infect cells faster in the body, then you could imagine just having more antibodies around would be a good thing. If the problem is not that they're less effective because they're replicating faster, but because there's the mutations and we now don't have antibodies to those specific parts of the coronavirus that have those new mutations that are in the variants, then developing a third booster shot that uses the variant as what's the immunogenic part of the vaccine, then that would be most effective. So which one of these two strategies will work? It probably depends on whether the variants are not, whether the vaccines aren't as effective on the variants because they're either the viruses are replicating too quickly, or because there's too many mutations and now we don't have antibodies to that part of the coronavirus.
That doesn't sound great, Brian. We might have to have 3 shots. Of course, Johnson & Johnson is a single shot dose, right? I'm not sure what their plans are. Have you heard anything about what Johnson & Johnson
they're definitely testing a second shot. So
right.
Whether they want to get into a third shot, I think they gotta figure out whether 2 shots is better than 1. And if they can prove that 2 shots are better than 1, then maybe they go and test a third shot. But again, I think that we've talked about this before, but the mRNA vaccines are a lot more likely to be more effective with booster shots than adenovirus-based vaccine, because the adenovirus is a virus itself. So in addition to creating antibodies to the coronavirus, the protein that gets expressed by the adenovirus, you're also developing antibodies to the adenovirus. So the adenovirus-based vaccines are going to become less and less effective as you do more and more doses.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Johnson & Johnson has come out and stated specifically that they're trying to do, target the new variants. Like I said, specifically, Pfizer and BioNTech are doing so, Moderna is doing so, Novavax is doing so. Not sure about J&J. So we'll see. We just might have to have that third shot if you're right, Brian.